أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم وفقنا وسائر المشتغلين للعلم والعمل الصالح بحق محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny said, beware of bribery, beware of bribery, for verily it is sheer infidelity, for verily it is sheer infidelity. And the briber will not even smell the fragrance of paradise. The briber even will never smell the fragrance of paradise. Even the fragrance of paradise, you can smell it about 500 years walking from paradise. You can smell the fragrance of paradise. But the briber is not going to what? To smell that fragrance. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله إياكم والرشوة فإنها محض الكفر. إياكم والرشوة فإنها محض الكفر ولا يشم صاحب الرشوة ريح الجنة. ولا يشم صاحب الرشوة ريح الجنة. على الرغم من أنه ريح الجنة تشم من على بعد مسافة مسيرة 500 عام، صاحب الرشوة ما يشمها. With Islamic laws, we reach to issue number 108. Still we are talking about the najasat and the essential najasa, and we have the kafir. The entire body of a kafir, including his hair and nails, even those parts which does not have life, and all liquid substances of his body are najis. The kafir, all part of his body, whether they have a life or not, just like his hair, his nails, his tooth, his bones, are what? Are essential najis. Are essential najis. That means we cannot make it tahir. We cannot make it tahir unless they turn to, for example, to ash or to salt. In this case, they will be tahir. Issue number 109. If the parents, paternal grandmother and paternal grandfather of a minor child are all kafir, that child is what? Is najis. If you ask why he is a child, he doesn't know what is religion, he doesn't recognize the worship of Allah or to being infidel, because his paternal, his grandfather, his grandmother, they are all kafir, so he is kafir and he is najis, just like them, because the child follow the father or the grandfather. In case if one of his parents is a Muslim and the other father is a kafir, this child will be tahir because he will follow what? He will follow the Muslim one. Doesn't matter his father or his mother. Except when he is intelligent enough. That means this child, if he is intelligent enough, what does mean intelligent enough? And professes Islam. This child, he professes Islam. In this case, he is what? He is a Muslim and he is not a najis. When even one person from his parents or grandparents is a Muslim, the child is tahir. The child is tahir. Inshallah, we will explain this in issue 217. Issue number 110. a person about whom it is not known whether he is a Muslim or not. I don't know this person. Is he a Muslim or not? Okay? And if no signs exist to establish him as a Muslim, he will be considered tahir. He will be considered tahir. I have a person, I don't know whether he is a Muslim or not, but I don't have any sign refers that he is not a Muslim. Okay, now, what shall I consider him? Shall I consider him as a Muslim or as a kafir, as an infidel? Here I will consider him as a Muslim. I will consider here as a Muslim. Yes, a person about whom it is not known whether he is a Muslim or not, and if no signs exist to establish him as a Muslim, he will considered tahir. He will be considered tahir. I said Muslim, it is tahir, sorry. He will be considered as tahir, not Muslim, but as tahir, not najis. But he will not have the privileges of a Muslim. But he will not have the privileges of a Muslim. Like what? Like he cannot marry a Muslim woman. Yes, we consider him as a Muslim. We consider him as a tahir, not najis. But I cannot deal with him as what? As a Muslim. I cannot let him marry my daughter, my Muslim daughter. Okay? Or any female Muslim. Like he cannot marry a Muslim woman, nor can he be buried in a Muslim cemetery. If you ask why you consider him tahir and you not let him be buried in a cemetery of Muslims, because I don't know whether he is a Muslim or not. Yes, I deal with him as a tahir. But I'm not going to consider him as a Muslim. There is a difference. Issue number 111. Any person who abuses any of the 12 holy imams on account of enmity is najis. Any person, whether he is a Muslim or not a Muslim. Look, this is very important. Any person, whether he is a Muslim or not a Muslim, even if he is what? Even if he is Shi'i Ithna Ashari. Even if he is Shi'i Ithna Ashari. And he abuses any of the 12 holy imams on account of enmity and show enmity to them, he is what? He is najis.
What I mean here, the word abuse is put wrongly, because this word was the core notion of my thesis. Tamam?
Mm-hmm.
The word abuse actually is put here wrongly.
So what you suggestion for?
Either we say who hates the imams, or who show, and we can say the person who shows enmity to the imams. The word abuse here, it means ta'assuf, and we cannot say the word abuse means intihak.
It's a kind of abusing imam, not visit him, not announcing that he is an imam.
And the abuse, it can be subdivided into several types. We have psychological abuses, we have verbal abuses, we have
you're right.
Body abuses, etc.
Yeah.
There are many types of abuse. But the word abuse here, I'm sure that it is put here wrongly.
All right, inshallah we'll discuss later. You have to underline it now.
Yes.
And put your note and tell me later about it.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Thank you very much. Issue number, we came to a new essential najasa, that's alcoholic liquor. And this issue number 112, wine which is intoxicating and is taken from a grape juice is najis. Wine which is intoxicating and is taken from grape juice is najis. And on the basis of recommended precaution, definitely wine is najis. This is with verdict. Alaykum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is alaykum assalam. This is with verdict. It is not as a recommended. So wine is najis as a verdict. Pay attention, not as a recommended precaution. And as based on basis of recommended precaution, everything which is originally liquid, and intoxicating a person, is najis, just like beer. Okay? Some people, they said, we drink many cans of beer, but we are not intoxicating. This is your business, but it is originally, it makes somebody intoxicated. Muskira. So it is najis. Hence, narcotics like opium and hemp, which are not liquid, originally are tahir. Look, originally are tahir, not najis. But it is allowed to consume them? No. It is haram to consume them. Here we are talking about tahara and najasa only. Only tahara and najasa. Hence, narcotics like opium and hemp, which are not liquid, originally are tahir, even when a liquid is added to them. Even when a liquid is added to them, they still what? They still tahir, even if they become what? Even if they become liquid. Issue number 113. All kinds of industrial alcohol used for painting doors, windows, tables, chairs, etc. are tahir. Since they are industrial, they are tahir. Like spirit, هذا نسميه spirito احنا, in all its kinds except that which is made due to the evaporation of wine. All its industrial, they are what? They are tahir. Only the spirit which is made by evaporation from the wine, they took some spirit from the evaporation of what? Of wine. It is what? It is najis. So we have two kinds of spirit. One which is made industrial, it is tahir, and the other which is taken from what? From wine by what? By evaporating it. Issue number 114. If grape juice bubbles by itself, this grape juice bubbles by itself, يعني غلا بنفسه, through fermentation or by cooking. The reason of being bubbling by fermentation or by cooking, it is pure. It is pure. However, it is unlawful to drink it. It is tahir, but it is haram to drink it. It is tahir, but it is haram to drink. I think it's better to change the word pure into tahir. Better. Yes. It is pure, however, it is unlawful to drink it. The same hukum, similarly, based on obligatory precaution, not on as a verdict, as a fatwa, Boiled grapes are unlawful. Boiled grapes are unlawful to consume, but they are not impure. But they are not impure. Look, the same thing, but according to obligatory precaution, not according to a verdict. That boiled grapes, العنب المغلي أو عصير العنب المغلي are sorry العنب المغلي نفسه العنب المغلي, the boiled grapes, the grape itself, sometimes a grape in a soup بالمرق, and it boils, it is boiling inside the soup when we are cooking it. So it is what? It is طاهر, it is طاهر, but it is haram to consume it. It is طاهر, but it is haram to consume it. You see? According to obligatory precaution, boiled grapes are unlawful to consume it, but they are not impure. But they are not impure. Yes. Issue number 115. If dates, currant, and raisins and their juice, dates, currants, and raisins and their juice boil, they are طاهر, they are طاهر, and it is halal to eat them, it is halal to eat them if they do not become intoxicating by boiling. Definitely not generally they are طاهر. Not generally they are طاهر. Only in case if they do not make somebody when consume them he is not intoxicating. In this case they are طاهر. But if they are boiled and when somebody consume them and they become intoxicated, he becomes intoxicated by eating them, they are what? They are najis. Is this understood? Any question? Yes, Sheikh.
It is not related to what have been tackled here,
Uh-huh.
but concerning the boiling grape. Is it a fixed notion between the whole Muslims, يعني the whole madahib,
Uh-huh.
or it is just restricted to Shia?
Shaykhana, we are studying the Shi'i.
I know we are studying the Shia, but يعني we read in the Al Hadith books that the second Khalifa was drinking wine, you know, and they
It is
defined
not
that.
the second Khalifa only. The first Khalifa whom called or whom he claimed himself as a successor for the Prophet, he was drinking wine in Ramadan through the day of Ramadan while the Prophet was alive. Absolutely, yes. I'm not taking my religion from the people whom they claim themselves as Khalifa. I'm taking my religion from the pure sources, the sources whom they connected to the sky directly.
So, sorry, Sheikh, it is not a matter of taking religion. Of course, we are granted, first of all, that we take our religion from the
Uh-huh.
12 pure imams. But it's a matter of knowing just.
Yeah, I got you. I got your point. Thank you very much. Yeah, Shaykhana, such fatwas from those days up to these days are very strange fatwas, and they are not based on religion basis. They are based on their whims. This is the big problem. Yes. Yeah. Up to now they believe in what they did. Now we came to beer, fuqa. this is also another essential najasa. Beer which is prepared from barley, it is usually cause ecstasy, not intoxication. Look, beer which is prepared from barley, it is usually caused ecstasy, not intoxication. فقط نشوة, not سكر, not to be drunk. Ecstasy, not intoxication, and is called beer. Is called beer. Is haram. Is haram to drink it. Number one, as an obligatory precaution, it should be treated as najis. And as obligatory precaution, treated is as najis. So, with verticut, it is haram to drink it. And as an obligatory precaution, it is what? It is najis. But barley water, which is medically prepared, عصير الشعير, عصير الشعير, ماء الشعير, ماء الشعير, okay, اللي يحضر طبيا, and is called ماء الشعير is طاهر, is طاهر, not najis. How we can differentiate between ma' al-sha'ir, which is najis or is haram to consume, and ma' al-sha'ir, which is prepared for medical uses? It is belong to the specialist people. It is belong to the specialist people. They know what is the difference and when this thing becomes tahir or najis. So, as an obligatory precaution, it should be treated as najis. This is beer. But barley water, ma'u sha'ir, which is medically prepared and is called ma'u sha'ir, is tahir. And as I told you, how we can differentiate between these two things, we have to go to whom? To the specialist. Because he knows there is a very slight difference. One of the people, he told me about it once in the past. He told me when the barley boiling, it has some bubbles like this. Before it comes to the top, they calm it down. I know something, we have to go to the specialist. Yes.
There is a drink is called Brebican. How about this? Or Islamic beer?
Shaykhana, since they call it beer, it is what? It is najis, and it is haram to consume it. Whatever the other word they added, Islamic beer, Shi'i beer, Sunni beer, it is najis and haram to drink it. Whatever. They add something to it, they mention it as in order to be halal. It is haram, it is beer, it is najis. Alcohol in it or wine in it. Yes, they do many things, so we have to be careful and not to be cheated by the words. Sweat of an animal who persistently eats the unclean substances. Now we came to another essential najis that is, in Arabic we call it araqul haywan al-jallal, the sweat of the animal who used to eat the feces of human beings. Issue number 117. The perspiration of a camel which eats najasa, and the perspiration of every animal which is habituated to eat najasa is what? Is najis. This perspiration of this camel, not only camel, but any animal which eats najasa. Any najasa? No, only the feces of human beings. Pay attention of this. Only the feces of human beings and the perspiration of every animal which is habituated to eat najasa is what is mutanajjis. Is najis, sorry. Is najis. Yes. Is najis. Issue number 118. 118. The perspiration of a person who enters the state of janaba by haram. The perspiration of a person who enters the state of janaba by haram. Janaba by haram, not by with his wife. Yes. Any janaba which comes by raping, adultery, any defiling an animal, okay? This is what which comes with a person body, according to Sayyid Sistani, it is tahir. Why he mentioned this, it is tahir? Because late Abu al-Qasim al-Khoi, may Allah bless his soul, he mentioned as what? As najis. So Sistani said it is tahir, but on the basis of recommended precaution, salah should not be offered with that sweat. But salah will not be offered by that, alaykum assalam rahmatullah, by that sweat. Why he took the recommended precaution in his consideration, since he gave a verdict by it is tahir? Because Sayyid Sistani never neglects the opinion of the other ulama. Never neglects the opinion of other ulama. He gave his opinion according, he gave the verdict, okay? But as a recommended precaution, not to forget what? Not to forget the opinion or the fatwas of the other ulama. This is really good. Similarly, sexual intercourse with the wife in her menses. Look, in her menses, when she is in hayd or in perperium, nifas, if he has sexual intercourse with her in this state, okay, the same hukum. Their sweat is what? Is tahir. Knowingly that deliberately he do this act. Deliberately he does this act will be considered as janaba by haram act. We consider it as what? As janaba by haram. We consider it as janaba by haram. Okay? But the sweat is not najis. The sweat is not najis. And we have to deal with it as a recommended precaution. As a recommended precaution, not to pray with this sweat. We have to take a bath. Okay? If you say, yes, he is already going to take a bath because of the janaba. I know, but if, la samahallah, my sleeves, you know my sleeves, fanila, if my sleeves has touched what? Touched, or my cloth has touched the sweat, my sweat. And this is sweat from haram, na'udhu billah. So I cannot pray with this sleeve. Have you got this idea? Okay. Issue number 119. If a person has sexual intercourse with his wife at a time when it is forbidden, like in the month of Ramadan, not because of her state. No, because the time is forbidden. The day of Ramadan, Yes, during fasting, his perspiration will not be classified with the perspiration of those who become mujnib by haram act. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله شيخ أصيل حياكم الله حبيب. This janaba will not be classified as what? Will not be classified as janaba from haram. All right. Have you got this? Issue number 120. If a person in janaba by haram act does tayammum instead of ghusl and perspires after performing tayammum, this person has janaba by haram act, does tayammum instead of ghusl and perspires after performing tayammum. His perspiration will be governed by the same rule which applied to his perspiration before the tayammum. That means this sweat is not najis as a vertical. This sweat is not najis, but as a recommended precaution not to perform his salah by this sweatness. Is it clear? Last issue in this lesson, issue number 121. If a person becomes mujnib by haram act, and then engages in lawful sexual intercourse, with his wife, the recommended precaution for him is that he should not offer prayer with his perspiration. This is as a recommended precaution. As I told you, how it comes, he will enter to the prayer without taking or without having ghusl from janaba. Yes, we are not talking about this. We are talking about his cloth. Maybe his cloth becomes contact. I'm sure his sleeves, his cloth touch his body and they become wet because of his sweatness. Have you got this? This is what we are. It is as a vertical, he can perform his salah. It is not najis. But as a recommended precaution, not to use them in the coming salah. But if he has lawful sexual intercourse in the first instance and then commits the haram act, in the first part of this issue, he has the haram act, then the halal act. Haram act and the halal act. Now, in the second part, in the second picture, he has the halal act, then the haram act. But if he has lawful sexual intercourse in the first instance and then commits the haram act, his perspiration will not be treated as the perspiration of a person who has become mujnib by haram act. There is a difference. Any question? والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم.